Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Couch of the Dead. We have a great episode for you today because we just went to the North Pole to see the brand new 2026 release called We Bury the Dead.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Matt.
We are two die-hard horror movie fans who want to share our love of spooky cinema with you.
So please, if you dare, join us on the Couch of the Dead. And we are back.
Hello. So yeah, it was freezing in that theater. And I always bring my blanket. He always makes fun of me for bringing my blanket, but I know I'm not the only one who brings a blanket to the movie theater.
Well, and the theater was distractingly cold.
My feet, my toes were so cold. I never even took my coat off. It was a little too much.
So anyway, what are we drinking to
Oh,
warm up? What is the creepy cocktail?
so tonight I'm actually finally drinking the drink of my peoples. Today's creepy cocktail. It's called Coquito. And Coquito, even though we are past the Christmas season, Coquito is the Puerto Rican version of eggnog.
It's
It,
moonshine or
it,
it's eggnog from the island.
it doesn't have eggs or nog,
Hmm.
but it does have coconut milk, uh, condensed and sweetened milk, and rum, and cinnamon, and deliciousness.
Does it
So,
have chata in it?
no,
No chata.
no,
Okay.
it's not rum chata. It's just coquito.
And I am drinking. I'm finishing off this chocolate mocha whiskey,
Whiskey.
which you wouldn't think it would be good, but it actually is pretty good. And they don't make enough of this for me to forget this movie. This is going to be the first movie based off of our discussions from the movie theater to our house, which is about a 15-minute ride, if that. This is going to be the first review I think that we differ greatly on, so this could get interesting. So if I may be in danger, so I'll blink once for yes and twice for no.
So we buried the dead. Our first 2026 movie. Yes. There are actually a lot of great movies coming out this year.
And this wasn't one of them.
We talked about it in our New Year's live bash, and we will be releasing more information on our socials, which you can see right over here.
Hold on, I gotta get lower. Right, all across here.
Okay, so we buried the dead. After a catastrophic military disaster, the dead don't just rise, they hunt. Ava searches for her missing husband, but what she finds is far more terrifying. So, yes, it is a zombie movie. For those who are. That was a spoiler. But I think
Well,
everybody at this point knows it's a zombie movie.
yeah.
But anyway, so.
Even if they're not, it doesn't spoil the movie
it,
itself.
it doesn't. Director is Zach Hilditch. And the main three characters are actual, yes. So it's Daisy Ridley, and you might know her from.
Some of the newer Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm, if you're
That
into
that's
that.
that's what I know her from.
Mm-hmm. Brenton Thwaites,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
and he. What did you say? Oh, Ghost of War.
Yeah, he was. I recognized him in the theater, and I joked with her. I'm like, pause it, because I wanted to look and see where I knew this guy from. And yeah, he was in a really good Netflix like military ghost story movie called Ghosts of War. a Netflix original. Yeah, we'll have to watch that.
And,
And I knew it. I'm like, where do I know him from? And that's where it was from.
And then lastly, Mark Coles Smith. And
No
he has
relation.
No relation.
Thank God, because I
There's
would
like
have
a
disavowed
gazillion.
him.
There's a gazillion Smiths, so we're not very popular. Anyway, so those are our three main actors. I actually didn't write down the husband's name. Oopsies.
Yeah, well,
He wasn't as
he wasn't in
he
it
was
much, just in flashbacks.
right.
So
Okay.
this is a zombie movie. Going into it, I did not purposefully want to find out anything about this movie, and it was very quickly apparent that yes, it was going to be an undead or a slash zombie movie, and
Oh, no.
before we go into spoilers,
We
uh,
lost Nosferatu.
yeah, well, the cat probably
Well, we have Art.
knocked it
So-
off, so we're just gonna have art. To me, this movie was very just your standard kind of ho hum zombie movie. I mean,
completely disagree.
there's only so much you can do with the zombie
Exactly.
genre, but they didn't do anything different that hasn't been done 1,000 times before.
See, I differ. I don't think that's the case. I think that they use the zombies not as the main point of the movie.
That's probably why I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the main point of the movie. The movie was the journey for the main character that we will talk about during the spoilers. The zombies was not to be the center of attention. So I think for that reason, it was a different kind of movie. If you ever watched Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I cannot say that.
Schwarzenegger?
I cannot say his last name. But you know who I'm talking about. And it was him as the dad with the daughter, and it's a zombie kind of movie. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but it resembles a lot of what this movie was
Oh,
about.
so you're saying this movie has been done before?
No, I'm saying that, yeah, I mean, okay. It's not like it has never been done. I just think it was a different take on the zombies, and I liked where it went. It wasn't a zombies going after people in the same fashion as
Well, yeah,
every
it kind
zombie
of
movie.
was. It turned into that.
Okay, so we'll get into spoilers. We'll talk a little bit more, and we'll put our boxing gloves on, and we'll hash it
Yeah,
out.
and I guess we'll get into it with our scores and stuff. So
Yeah.
So I think without further ado, 2026's We Bury the Dead is going to be spoiled for you.
Too late. Okay, so he took most of the notes because I was too cold in the theater, shivering. I didn't take as many notes, but
It was literally my fingers were going numb
my
while I was
God.
trying to. Luckily, there was one other person in the theater with us, and he was sitting way down. We always try and get in the back because I'm going to admit we do take notes on our phones. We turn our brightness down, and we don't want to bother anybody else.
which is hard to do in a crowded.
Yeah, if we're in a
theater.
crowded theater, we will type our stuff, but then all of a sudden my phone starts forgetting how to predict.
It's not
the-
just
the
that
word
he
I
has
want next.
fat fingers.
Yeah,
He can't type
yeah.
for shit.
I my fingers fit a rotary phone perfectly. So, okay. So anyway, so we bury the dead. So we start out. Well, you know what? I got to make sure I got the names right.
Ava.
Because Ava is our main character, played by Daisy Ridley,
Mm-hmm.
and
The husband.
his yes,
name was Clay.
Clay. I
But
got
we
that
don't get-
right.
We don't get him
So-
until later, and then
So
Riley
we meet our main protagonist, Ava.
and her
and-
husband.
Her and her husband are at dinner, just having some
Her husband's name's
innocuous
Mitchell? Is
conversation.
that what it says there? Mitch. Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch is the husband.
So Ava and Mitch are there, and they're at what I thought was presumably maybe their wedding at
Yes,
the time,
it is
because
their
a lot of the stuff with the couple is presented in flashbacks.
So actually, we see the story of their marriage from from their wedding down, like in little.
Yeah, in little
Yeah, so
chunks and
the
little
first
snippets and
snippets.
flashbacks and
That gives you pretty much all
Yeah.
you need to know about their relationship. But
yeah.
their wedding looked to be very beautiful and lots of lovely people.
Yep. And so we hear a voicemail
Mm,
over them, transposed over them dancing,
yeah.
where she's calling Mitch, and she's like, "Pick up the phone. Are you okay?"
Hmm.
So we know now something has happened,
Yep.
and we find out that it's an experimental weapon that was being tested and was accidentally detonated by the U.S. government in Tasmania, which that's where that cartoon guy lives,
Hmm.
the Tasmanian Devil.
Hmm.
And Tasmania is a small island south of Australia.
Hmm. And we get a montage.
There's a lot of montages in
Yeah.
this movie.
But as they're talking about this disaster, that the montage shows part of the disaster.
Mushroom clouds and people getting wiped out.
Yeah.
You kind of
So-
you're led to
Mhm.
believe it's like a nuke, but it's not really.
It has something to do.
It's technically an
neurologically.
EMP.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an EMP, and basically what happened is hundreds of thousands, if not everybody,
Actually, 100%. They said
Yeah,
100% of the island
everybody died.
died.
But the EMP, what it did was shut off certain people neurologically,
Neurologically.
and that some of these people were now coming back and regaining consciousness.
Well, we don't know this until a little later.
No, but
we
that
have,
it sets it
yeah.
up.
But we have Ava, and she is again our main character, and she is in some sort of room with other people.
Well, she's volunteering because
volunteering.
they asked for volunteers for body retrieval
Mm-hmm.
because they want to get all these bodies out because they have to have something to do with 500,000 bodies. They said like roughly 500,000 people.
Yeah, so that's a lot. So a
Yeah.
lot of people volunteer, except most were from Australia. She happens to be American,
Yeah.
and soon we find out why.
Well, yep. She actually requests to be put in this certain town because that's where her husband is, or that's the last place he was at.
Right.
And they basically tell her, "No, you're on body retrieval. You're
Yes.
doing what
Actually,
you're doing."
they did mention that the south area of the island was still
Still burning.
burning.
Yep.
Like still going through it. So they had no one going in there, and that she was put in this other area for body retrieval.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of people in this.
Yep.
They're playing and they get to their headquarters or whatever.
Military, possible like
Mhm.
disaster relief workers,
Right, yes,
along with volunteers.
Yep.
And this is where we find out that they said some of the people are waking back up,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
But
not.
that they're
They're not
not.
all there.
And they're
basic.
docile.
Yeah, they're basically like lights on, but nobody's home. They said.
Yes, and so they gave everybody 2 canisters of
Flares.
flares. So in case they do meet, a body that has come back, the military that are
Yeah,
with them.
They stand outside the house and light the flare
Yeah.
to alert the military that hey, there's
And
a
they take
zombie
care
in
of it.
here, and the military can dispose of them in the most humane way
way,
possible,
that's
which
the
is
way.
basically shooting them in the head,
Shoot-
which is pretty
Yeah.
humane if you're
But
a
at
zombie.
this point, Ava is taking mental notes, if you will, because now she's thinking, wait, some of them are coming back?
Yeah, so she's holding out hope that her husband is either alive or he
Or-
has been reanimated and there's hope for him.
Right.
So we have a montage. They're going through houses to retrieve these bodies, and some of the thing that we see is there's food still on the plates and stuff. So we know that this all happened very suddenly, and they're hauling bodies out to the sidewalks and taking them away and putting them in mass graves with bulldozers.
And there's tons of people just going street by street,
Yep.
apparently, and everything seemed pretty standard at up
Yep.
until this point. No flares have been seen so far, but it's coming.
So there's a bit of like comic relief here and there in this movie that I did appreciate, and she's sitting outside, and she sees this woman run out of one of the houses and puke, and everybody's wearing like N95 masks and stuff like that because of the smell, and this dude comes out, long hair, beard, and he just comes out smoking a cigarette like he gave zero fucks about
And
this.
they kind of looked at each other for a moment, especially because they were across the street, and the guy who was with the long hair guy, he kind of lost it too, and he started like going away. I think he was like he ran
Yeah, and
off. He didn't want to do this anymore.
and this guy we meet is Clay.
And Clay and Eva kind of teamed up at this point because their partners, both of their partners, kind of like couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So again, we have another montage. It's a motherfucking montage.
And they're going through
montage.
different properties.
Going through these houses and pulling the bodies out. And so far at this point, I was on board. But I was also like, okay, this is a zombie movie. Where are we going to go with this?
Right. At some point, we do see someone. I think it was in the house that had the car.
Yes. Well, they go into the garage of one of the houses, and we see a guy standing in the corner, and he's alive. And these zombies are like pale, full of like the blue varicose vein kind of things on their faces. Their eyes are like milky white or blue
Yeah,
and
but what
clouded
was
over.
all over him?
Oil,
It's like,
probably.
oh,
They
'cause he
think
was
this was
working
because
on
he
the
was probably
vehicle,
working
so-
on his car, maybe changing the oil in his car, and right after he pulled out the drain plug, then the EMP
so he
hit.
was all oily and
he's
he's just standing there. He's not.
Yep, not moving
It's
at
not
all.
like he wasn't
He acknowledged
completely moving. Yeah, right.
he acknowledged that Ava and Clay were there,
They were there, yes.
but didn't do anything
Didn't
about it.
really,
Again,
like-
lights on, nobody's home.
Right.
Yep.
And actually, I think at some point, didn't Ava got really close to him or what? No, I think it was him. Flashing her light right up to his face.
And she's like, I'm not touching.
And yeah, there was like it wasn't reacting, and then soon enough, the military people came in.
Well,
and
they go
boom,
out.
boom.
She lights the flare. You see the military run in. You
No,
hear
he
the
did.
gunshots.
But
Yeah.
shoom, shoom, yeah. So their humane way is to shoot him in the head.
Shoot 'em in the
Because
head.
That's what we have known about zombies all of our lives.
Well, it's a humane way to pretty much kill anybody. Just shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
So, Ava is back in her hotel room at this point now because the body collecting is done for the day, and everybody's presumably being put up in a hotel.
Yep.
And
there is.
We hear a big party down in the
Party.
ballroom of the hotel.
Yeah.
But she's in her room and she has a map and she's plotting out the distance from the hotel room
all
to
the way
where
down
the
south.
resort is to where her husband was at.
Which was
200 miles. So this is her only motivation for
Yeah.
being there is to get
So
down
we
there.
know that she's really holding out hope for a delusion that she might find him alive, and we get the sense that she is going to be planning a way to get there, and
Yep.
she tries that night,
Yep.
but she gets caught right
She
away.
tries to sneak out of the hotel.
And she goes back in and sits down with Clay, and I think they talked briefly.
Well, she talked about like, hey, that guy in the garage was still like with it and he was calm. So she's really kind of holding out hope that even if her husband is reanimated, that
Then maybe.
his wiener won't be, I don't know.
Mm.
So the next day they're checking out some buildings, and they go into this large garage, and they see a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And Clay's like, "Oh my God, this bike's awesome! I got to try and sneak it past the authorities." And she's like, "Oh, you ride, you know?" And so she starts getting it in her head that Clay knows how to ride a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And hey.
they go into the back room of this garage, and there's couches and stuff, you know, where people probably hung out.
Oh,
and
there was
stuff.
a whole bunch of dead people.
Yes, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of dead people on the couches.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cool things when she sees the one reanimated zombie is they all make the sound they're grinding their teeth.
Oh,
And grinding their teeth like literally like they're working their teeth loose.
yeah.
That was kind of cool.
That
That
was.
was a refreshing thing. Like they all made
I
this
like that.
clicking sound, and it was them
Mhm.
grinding their teeth so hard.
So hard. Yes.
So she convinces Clay,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, we can't go the main roads, we're going to be caught, but hey, if you want to ride this motorcycle, we can take some of the secondary roads, the single roads,
Yep.
and this is where I want to go. I want to go and down to this resort and see my husband. And Clay's like, being the rebel he is, he's like, what the fuck, let's do it.
He actually was kind of in a jokester kind of a mood and says, "No, you know, I came here to do something important and you know." And
Yeah,
then,
that
and
was
then
funny.
He's like, "No, fuck that. I'm just."
Well, he's like, no, I came here to help my fellow human beings, and this means too much. She just looks at me and goes, nah, I'm just kidding. Let's take that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, that was after he did a bump because there was still cocaine on the floor on the tables from the
Yeah.
party there.
yeah, so he does a bump of coke and is like, let's
Hey,
get on a
let's
motorcycle.
go, yeah.
Because that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
So we have another montage,
Of them.
motherfucking montage of them riding
Riding.
through this, like,
But every time we get the snippets, this is every time where we get like the snippets of Ava's marriage. So just to give you in a chronological order of how they did it. First, we see their
first he
wedding.
unzips his pants. Oh, never mind. I was thinking of something
And
else.
then at another time, how happy they are together, and you know they're lovey-dovey, whatever. And then another time was she was looking at a pregnancy test and crying because I guess they couldn't.
Yeah, she couldn't get pre-gat.
Mm-hmm. And so we continue to get these snippets of, oh, okay, so that's
So that's a sense of tension in the relationship because
yeah.
they're trying to have a
a
baby, and she can't get pregnant.
Nope. So we get to a point on the road that the guy sees another vehicle coming down the road. So obviously they know they have to.
It's the military. They see
know
the
they
military.
Have to hide.
Yep. And they pull over, and they're like ducking behind a dead vehicle.
And then they hear the clicking
Yep.
teeth.
And we
chattering
we
thing.
see. Now here's where it kind of started to go a little south because
Mm-hmm.
okay, we see a zombie,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, okay, cool, something's gonna happen. And then the Hummer just drives by with the 50 cal on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they just blast this zombie and keep
But
going.
this is the first zombie that they're seeing actually
Well,
walking towards them. Because
yeah,
in the past,
but
they
it
were
still
just
wasn't
standing.
being aggressive. It was just
No,
walking
but
towards them.
In the all the zombies they have seen thus far, they're just standing there, not moving, not doing anything. This is the first one that is actually walking. So that's a progression in this zombie stage, and this is what we're gonna continue to see.
Yep. So they're still going down the road closer to the resort, and they go through a part of the country that's still burning.
Oh yeah,
It's still on fire.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool shots in this movie, though.
very
Stuff
yeah,
like that.
The cinematography
Overhead
was
shots
very
with
pretty.
smoke coming up over the
Mhm.
mountains and stuff like that. And they raid an ambulance for some oxygen masks, and they kind of get through that, and they
Mhm.
pull into this big
All the-
like gas station,
Mhm.
cafe, kind of whole big
They're
thing.
kind of taking like a small break.
Yeah, they need a rest, and they're getting supplies. They're drinking some water out of the sink and stuff like that. And we find out now they're 19 miles out.
Mm-hmm. They're not that far.
She writes it on the map, crosses off kind of where they stopped, and they're 19 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're in the cafe, they are now attacked
Mm-hmm.
by another zombie.
That's coming.
Well, it's not
fast.
much of an attack because his ankle's like snapped off, so he's
but
just like
he's
dragging
going
the ankle.
faster towards them, and they have nowhere else to go, and the zombie is sort of flipping tables and chairs out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
and they're now kind of getting cornered, and they're trying to throw a table and a chair
Mhm.
towards the zombie, which is not very effective. And just when he's about to get to them, he gets shot, the zombie. And here we meet Riley, who apparently is a military guy who just happens.
He's a soldier.
Yep, he just happens to be there at the right time. He lets them know, hey, listen, you can't be here. Like, where
Yeah,
you come
You're
from.
in a restricted area. Why are you
Mhm.
here?
Hmm.
And
he takes them to
well, they tell him their story, like, "Hey, we're
their
here
story, yes.
to try and find my husband and stuff like
Mhm.
that."
And he seems calm, and he seems agreeable, and he's like, I understand where you're coming from, but you have to come with me. So he puts Ava in a locked room in
the bathroom, he
in the
locks her in the
bathroom.
bathroom.
and then goes talks to the guy saying that he needed a statement from him. And at this point, I'm like, no, don't leave me alone. Like, this is
Well, I
no.
think we know later on he had ulterior motives for separating
Obviously.
them.
But at this point, we didn't because we had no other reason. Like,
No,
we
right,
had no
right
reason
at
not
this
to.
point, no, we
No.
don't. But while she's kind of locked in the bathroom and sitting there, now there's a flashback where she's sitting in the tub,
Mm-hmm.
and her husband
Uh-huh.
comes in, and she's like, we need to talk, and so now we know that there's trouble.
Progression in their trouble
Yeah.
marriage, and
Yep.
they didn't seem happy with each other when they were at this point in their relationship. So then she wakes up, and Riley is at the door and tells her, oh, some partner you had, he ran off, and I spent the last few hours looking for him.
Which gets me. Well, and again, I have a theory about this because it's like, how does a dude just randomly get away from a soldier with a gun,
Mm.
and ditch him?
Mm-hmm.
I think the soldier probably told him to leave and get out, knowing what we know later.
Mm-hmm.
He was
True.
probably like, "Get the hell out of here! Or
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you."
Yeah, if you wanna just run
Yep.
away. But anyway, so now we are
Well, he says he's gonna take her.
right.
To her husband.
Ava is still with the same plan in her head, and now he's saying, okay, you know what? I will do this for you because I understand. And
Mhm.
I think at some point she sees that he had a wedding ring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she trusts him, I guess, because he's a total fucking stranger.
Yeah.
So they go together, and 19 miles is really not that far.
No, and on roads that are almost clear, it should have taken him about a half an hour
Yeah.
to get
But
there.
it looked like it was taking longer, and she's like, "Where are we going?" And
Oh,
he's-
sorry. They're in Australia, New Zealand. So about 56 koalas. It should have taken them to get there.
So he says to her, "Oh, I just want to stop somewhere and grab some supplies before we continue our way."
Yeah, they pull into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And he says, "I remember I was here before, and there's lots of canned food. There's
Mhm.
refrigerated food that's probably still good. Let's
Mhm.
stop and get some supplies, get something to eat, maybe rest for the night." And she's skeptical.
Yeah, she's getting a little skeptical. Now she's being very apprehensive, which I don't blame her. And then all of a sudden we see them sitting down for dinner.
Yep, and he cooks this nice dinner for her,
Uh-huh.
and she's not eating.
Oh God, no!
And
She's
I'm
just
sitting
staring
there going, "Freaking eat! You
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. You're gonna
You
need
might
your
need-
energy."
Yeah.
But then I'm also thinking that if that was you, and it wasn't chicken fingers, you wouldn't have eaten
no,
anyway.
but what if he put some sort of drug in there? And
Well, I would have said, "Hey, you eat some of my food here
Yeah.
before you,
Yeah.
before you eat
but
your
yeah,
own."
if it was
But
chicken
I
fingers-
get it. You could be apprehensive, or you could say, "Hey, you said there was canned food in here. Give me some canned food."
Yeah, or you know what? At the very least, I thought we were gonna get supplies and skedaddle, but
Yeah.
no, now. But she's sitting there, and she's actually taking a look around and notices something important. There are pictures of him and a woman with him. This is no bed and breakfast. This looks like That's
Well,
his
it
house.
was a bed and breakfast because there was a sign
Well, yeah,
up there.
maybe it
So
was.
they
Maybe
they probably
but
owned the bed and
but
breakfast.
he already lied,
Well,
saying,
yes,
"Oh yeah,
yes.
I've been here before." No, you probably
Yes.
lived there. There's pictures of your family here. Um, and so he comes out kind of clean and says, "You know what? Um, this is where me and my wife, and she died and whatever. Oh, I guess he was out of.
Well, and he volunteered for the mission
That's right.
to try and find her.
I always lose a little bit of the conversations when we watch like Australian.
Because there's no, you lose them when it's English because there's no subtitles.
Yeah, I like.
You know how many times we're in a movie theater and she's like, "What did he say?"
You're supposed to be telling me. I don't always. I can't hear very well. But anyway, you should know by now, English is my second language, so I do what I can, and I do my best.
So, before he convinces her that they're gonna just chill for the night. They'll get going in the morning, and he says, like, "Before you do that, could I ask you something?" And we cut away, and she's up in a bedroom, and she's putting on clothes. And there's a wedding ring on the table, and she's going through drawers, and it's like, okay, this dude's making her put on his wife's clothes. Well, at this point, she's afraid of him, but she's also a little dependent on him to get her to where she wants to go. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, okay, is he like role playing? And he comes in, he's out of his military uniform now, and he's wearing civilian clothes. He looks like a lumberjack.
And she did say to him, just one dance. So
yeah,
I guess
he wanted to put on music and dance with her, and he does. And he's kind of talking to her like he's talking to his dead wife, saying, "I'm sorry, I couldn't protect you." And it's kind of a heartfelt moment.
I love you.
And so this guy's going through a lot of pain. Yep.
But it's so weird.
But we find out, that it's really kind of warped him at this point.
At some point, he starts talking to what we think is a baby. And
Well,
she's obviously...
Because his wife was pregnant.
Yeah.
When she presumably died.
We didn't know this until he did that. And so she's like very obviously weirded out. And then he notices that she's not wearing the wedding ring that he asked her to.
That's part of the cosplay.
Yeah. And she's like, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm not taking my own ring to put your dead wife's ring."
Yeah.
And
which she didn't have to. She just could have put it on with her other ring. But
honestly, I could just take it off, do what he asked me to do, and just
this is like life or death here,
yes,
and you're going to be stubborn about taking your wedding ring off.
Yeah, I think that was a little stupid. But he's getting a little bit aggressive at this point because
he's like, that doesn't count. Yeah. That dance doesn't count because you weren't wearing the proper uniform.
Yeah. And so she's getting scared. She tries to run away and locks him in, goes out the window. No, I'm sorry. No. She tries to go away from that room to the next room.
She makes a break for it and runs into another room.
And then closes the door behind, locks it. And now she sees what's on the bed.
She turns around, sees something on the bed.
And it's the dead wife.
She's pregnant. It's homeboy's wife, and he is basically saying that, even though she's dead, the baby's still alive because he felt the kick.
Mm-hmm. So he's begging at the door, "Please, please, don't do this, and da-da-da-da." Now she jumps out the window.
Yeah, Ava yeets herself out the window and goes to the Humvee and realizes, shit, the keys are still in the house, so she's got to go back into the house.
But he's there now.
And he's out. Yep,
so
he confronts her.
And they go to like a barn.
It's like a barn, garage.
And now she hides
small
in
barn,
there.
large garage.
Yeah, and it's dark time, so it's not like she can see right away. But now she's in the garage, she's hiding, and he comes in
with a flashlight
or a lamp or whatever. And now
they call it a torch down there. He's in there with a torch, mate.
And through the lighting,
I want to go
we
to Outback
see
now.
To eat.
No, just to sit there and watch other people eat. Anyway.
We see through the lighting that there are a bunch of dead zombies, alive zombies.
Well, but and you really couldn't tell, but you could hear chains rattling.
And then you can also hear all the
Oh,
chattering.
that you heard. And
it's the same chattering in English or Spanish or Australian.
And the cool thing that the flashlight goes like by a wall and there's a chalkboard with grid on it. Mm-hmm. He's drawing like how many days certain zombies are alive. So he's got like stats on all the zombies.
He's been studying these zombies to see when they get aggro, when they are,
Yeah, and he had said it before that the longer they're awake, the more aggressive they get.
Right. So it makes sense. Because it's the longer effect in the activity in the brain, whatever it is. And he did say at some point that if she had asked at some point, why do you think they come back alive? Not alive, but dead alive.
Reanimate or whatever.
And he says that he thinks that it's because if they have unfinished business, that's the difference.
Which again makes no sense, because who doesn't ever die with unfinished business, especially suddenly?
Yeah, I think everybody would be coming back alive. But anyway, but that is a very important little point, because it later comes back on for what it is. But anyway,
so he coaxes her out, and
she begins to play the part.
Yes, and she realizes the only way I can get out of this is this dude's nuttier than a fruitcake. I'm going to pretend to be his dead wife. And she's like, oh, you're injured. Can I stitch you? Can I patch you up?
And I lost my
I'm
ring,
sorry. And can we go find my ring?
And so he kind of like, stupid man, believes her.
And she goes to hug him.
Yep.
And when she was going through the drawers earlier, it was either a knife or a letter opener or something like that, and she stabs him in the neck.
Stabs him right on the neck.
She neck stabs him.
Yeah. So he's there. He's losing all the blood, and he's kaput.
And we get into she gets the keys, gets into the vehicle. It starts right up, which I was surprised about. And when she turns on the headlights, we see the wife, the Prager's wife, standing in the yard. So she's obviously she's reanimated. She's not still alive. She's reanimated.
And she's just holding her belly, but she's not walking. She's not doing, she's just there. So Ava leaves.
She tears off. And at one point she pulls over and must fall asleep, because we go into the next scene and it's a dream where she's sitting on the floor and the husband basically is saying like, we don't have time to talk about this right now, and I'm only gonna be gone a week. It's a work retreat at this resort, and he's gonna be gone for a week, and presumably that is the week that all this stuff takes place.
Right. And then before they leave, before he leaves, she's like, "Well, can I at least take you to the airport?" And no, because the car is coming. So he gets his bag and leaves. Ladies, man, do not ever leave your spouses without a kiss. Don't, because it could be the last time you ever see each other.
Wow, that's grim.
Yeah, that's what happened here. It was the last time they saw each other.
Oh, in the movie. I'm like, here. I'm like, what? Okay, I was confused. I thought I might have been a reanimated zombie and didn't know.
No, I don't look so bad.
Because there's unfinished business, because we have to do a podcast.
Yeah, well. No, but I am a big believer that you leave each other's company, you hug, you kiss. I've always done that with my daughter. It doesn't matter if I'm going to bed. I always hug her and kiss her, because I could die in my sleep. So don't ever do that. It's so bad when I see that happening. Anyways, over.
So Ava's driving.
Yeah.
And
she's back.
She's back on the road, and she has to stop because
she's tired.
She had to walk because the road was blocked.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So she had to walk around the vehicles and at some point she finds.
Well, she's walking down the road. She finds a suitcase Yeah, she finds a suitcase with clothes in it because the thing I said when she escaped the B&B was, why doesn't she go back in and put like more sensible clothes
Yeah,
on?
'cause she
She's
was wearing
still in
like a
this
dress
dress. But she finds conveniently a suitcase right out in the
with
road
a
full of
hat and
clothes and
everything.
yeah,
So
with a sun hat. And all I could think of when she was walking in the sun hat was, oh my god, it's probably warm down there. While I was freezing my
yeah,
ass off in the movie
yeah.
theater.
And then,
And
well, she did get an axe. She's hanging on to that, and she hears a clicking, grinding, teeth grinding behind her.
yeah, well, it's cool. She doesn't hear it for a while because she's walking across broken
Crush.
glass,
Yeah, so
and
she's
the glass is making the same
sounds the
cracking
same
sound
sound.
as
Yep,
the grinding teeth,
that
so
was
she
pretty
doesn't
cool.
see him.
Yep.
And this zombie attacks her, and she jumps in like a bus.
That was a really cool
Yeah,
scene.
and it's
because
trying
the
to get
shot-
through this bus.
and the shot is shot from up above,
Yeah,
between the broken glass of on top of the bus, and he's going after her, and then she gets cornered, and she hits him over the head with some, I don't know what it was,
yeah,
some canister or
something
something.
she got off the bus,
and he kind of goes out and then comes back in, and she smacks him again a few times.
yeah, again, you thought it was cool. I thought it was kind of anticlimactic. It was like she dink. Okay, you're dead.
No, she dinked him a few times.
She dinked him.
But anyway,
Ding,
so
ding,
she gets out
Dink,
of
dink,
there,
dink, 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 dink.
and
And
she finds a camper because now it's dark.
yeah, which was a good decision. She decides she's gonna pull the bodies out of this camper, and she's gonna camp in the camper for the night, which is a good survival
Very good,
instinct.
Yes, yes.
And
Locks herself in.
but then right after that, she hears a noise outside and decides to turn on her flashlight and go out and investigate, which was very bad survival instincts.
Yes.
And
Here's a little bit of a curious, interesting scene.
well, one of the bodies that she
That was-
pulls out of the camper wakes back up and just starts digging a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not aggressive because it just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's digging a hole.
And she's staring at it. And he's not going after her. So he turns back around and continues to dig that hole.
And he's digging a hole to bury the rest of his family in, and she helps him.
She helps him.
Which, again, is weird because you're putting yourself in danger, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting yourself right in the line of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought that was very interesting. I thought, okay, his unfinished business was to bury his family.
yeah, but he didn't know that when he died.
You're right. So
So did he wake up and go, man, I got shit to do? Like it's typical for a dude. It's like, I've been dead and now I'm reanimated and now I gotta work.
but he seemed content. He buried everybody, and she helped him, and then he's just standing in the
He sits
hole.
he sits down in the hole.
waiting, and she understands.
Yep, he is resigned to his fate.
Yep.
And he allows her to bash him over the head with a shovel and bury him with the rest of his family.
Yep, and she does that, and then she puts a picture of them on top of the freshly grave, and then she goes back in.
She goes back in and goes
She
back
takes
to
a nap.
sleep. So we're in the morning, and now we just basically fast forward to the resort.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the resort. Nothing bad happens then in the last 6 miles.
She just walks until she gets to the resort.
And there's bodies in the courtyard that we see.
They were doing yoga.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Like they're all like dead in a yoga position. And at one point she looks on the wall and sees a picture. It says Employee of the Month, and turns around and it's the same woman who's now a zombie.
On the other side of a glass.
Like grinding her teeth and like window licking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was banging her head on the window a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes, you can tell she's going room by room looking for her husband, and then we finally get to the room. And we joked both, we said, oh, wait till she's in bed with another woman when she finds him. Not too far off, she finds him, and he's on the floor by the bed, and she's kind of talking to him, and she takes his hand,
I noticed.
and he's like, "Oh, where's his ring?" And I said the same thing, but I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah, whatever.
But the wife, Eva, notices that his ring is gone, and then she starts looking around the room, and she sees two glasses of wine by the table, and one has very obvious lipstick on it. And then she goes around another table, and she finds a woman's
An ID badge.
work tag,
Yeah.
and it's a woman, obviously. So she goes to the bathroom, looks for her. She didn't. I don't think she found it. And she goes back and sits by the body, and now she's upset. Now you can tell she's
And,
like,
and so the first guy that died and reanimated had to go to work and dig a grave for his family. This guy's dead,
and she's
and
yelling
she's getting yelled
him.
at him. She's like, "Oh, you're not going to reanimate?
Don't
I
you
guess
have
there was no
unfinished
unfinished
business?"
business." And he was probably at this point reanimated, but he
And
just
tried
closed
to-
his eyes and was just like, "Just shut up."
Yeah, no, I'm not coming out for that. I'm not coming back
Well,
for this.
So we think now this dude's like a piece of shit because he cheated on her.
Mm-hmm.
And after she gets done yelling at him, Clay pops his head in the door.
Someone pops in
And
into
Clay
the room,
Clay's back. And they
we're
decide
like, "Oh."
they walk out and they go to the beach
Mhm.
at this resort, and she's basically telling him that they couldn't get pregnant and they tried in vitro, and
they were getting into fights, lots of fights.
and she admits that she cheated on him.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a piece of shit
And
too.
she told him right before his business trip. So obviously when they departed from each other, they were in bad terms.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously why wouldn't he, right?
So she unloads to Clay about all this. Then
And
Clay
he kind of opens up
yeah,
a little bit.
Clay kind of unloads on to her, and he says that his wife and his child really just never gave a shit about him, and they were on the outs, and he volunteered for body collection basically to try and do something humanitarian to make himself look good to his
Mhm.
family, and they just didn't care.
So we kind of
And-
now know a little
Yep.
bit about Clay, and they have seemed to kind of connected over this. And the next thing we know is
We have another montage.
yeah,
They're partying at the resort.
they're partying at the resort, they're
Getting
jumping
drunk.
in the pool and drinking.
Now I'm
and-
sitting there going, why would you get drunk and go swimming in a resort that's full of bodies that may reanimate at any second?
Yeah.
Like, dumb.
and that,
Dumb.
sure enough,
But we
one-
just kind of forgot about that because
yeah,
we only one zombie
one
comes.
zombie came out.
He comes running at her, and she just winds up with, I think it was a bottle,
Yeah.
and just wham, hits him over the head, and he's dead.
And then she keeps hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and Clay says, okay, I think he's done. You know, like she had some aggression there that she needed to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
And
she
then-
cheated on him first. And anyway, so the next morning, she wakes up and she walks through the resort to her dead husband's room, takes off her wedding ring that she wouldn't take off before to save her life, but now he's dead. So now she takes off the wedding ring.
Well, now I think she feels like I have nothing else to lose. You cheated and you died, so
Yeah, but
okay.
she cheated first.
True.
Like, but she wanted to keep the wedding ring on then.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't start yelling. And she sees a picture on the wall at the resort of a boat floating in the water, and it's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So she decides that's how she's
That's
going
the
to
way to
dispose
go.
of her husband's body.
Yep.
And she
Clay
wraps him.
helps her.
Yep, she
Yeah.
wraps him up in some sheets, and they push a flaming boat.
I thought it was hysterical because they obviously were probably a little bit hangover, and they're going down all these big rocks from the resort down to the beach instead of taking an easier route. But and they're carrying his body wrapped around with a sheet, and he looks a little sickly. And she says, "You're not gonna hurl, are you?" And yep, sure enough, he vomits right on top of the dead body, which is so funny. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
But anyway, she sends him off.
At this point, I was like, this is where it's going to end, isn't it? Like, are you serious? So we get a little bit where they're driving back,
Mm-hmm.
and they just passed the B&B where the soldier and his pre-gat wife were, and they see her standing in the middle of the road,
The wife.
and she lost that baby weight quick,
Oh yeah.
and she's all bloody around her insidey nether region parts, so we can tell she's given birth and she's looking for the baby.
Yeah.
And
she gets out of the car. Ava gets out, and obviously Clay does too. And
which again, just keep.
Yeah, like, why are you stopping? You know that zombie is at some point gonna get aggressive and go towards you. And by now, I think she should have. But
and now in my notes it literally says Ava runs to try and find a baby like idiot.
Well, yeah. Well, so the wife turns around, does nothing to her, turns around and kind of starts walking the opposite way. And I'm thinking, because you can hear a crying in the short distance, I'm thinking that the mom is looking for her baby. Sure enough, Ava also hears this, and she runs towards where the baby is screaming, and we see in a couple of ruins.
Yeah, out in the middle
piles,
of a field.
Piles of rock. The baby is laying there, and
alive
it's
and
alive
healthy.
and healthy. It looks healthy.
Well, which makes sense because it wasn't a virus or anything like that.
Right.
It was literally an EMP.
But I mean, well, okay. So
I
anyway,
mean, yeah, there's a couple of.
Yeah. So the baby's alive. She picks him up, or her, whatever, and she just reassures the baby is going to be okay. And Clay is with her. So we assume now at this point they're gonna take the baby and gonna live happily ever after.
Well,
And
I guess, but yeah, Ava takes the baby and she's like, "This is my baby now."
oh yeah.
And the end.
The end. That's it. This is it. This is it. This is the end of the movie. I think I liked it. I left knowing that this wasn't about a movie, but about Ava's journey. No, sorry. Let me rephrase that. This wasn't about the zombies. This was about Ava's journey into finding her husband, finding herself, and finding a baby for her new norm.
So when I dig a little deeper into it, I sit there and I didn't have a lot of sympathy for Ava, knowing especially that she cheated first. And was she trying to find her husband to make amends, or was she trying just to find her husband to make herself feel better? But
I will never understand cheaters, because to me, if you're not happy
just
with
leave.
someone,
Just leave.
just leave.
But
it's that simple.
my problem with this movie was, is it a zombie movie or is it a movie about one woman's journey? And it tried to do both, but I think in trying so hard to do both, it didn't do either one well enough. Like, you can have a zombie movie. I go to 28 Days Later. That was like the most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching movie as far as the human drama. Yet it still had plenty of action. It still had plenty of zombies. It had some great kills in it. It had some great, like, unexpected scenarios. Like when the dad gets the blood dripped in his eye and he's yelling at his daughter to leave because he knows and she knows he's going to turn into one of these rage zombies. That, like, had me misty. You can do it. You can do both genres, and this movie didn't do either enough for me.
I think it did it for me. It was very effective. The simplicity of it, of one woman going after to find her husband in a sea of uncertainty and zombies.
It wasn't a sea of zombies though. It was,
I guess not.
It was
they
one.
could have been a little bit more.
None of them really put up any resistance to
No.
her, so they were dispatched of pretty easily. But like the pregnant zombie, that's right from the 2024 remake of Dawn of the Dead, when they were in, and that was another one where it focused a lot on the human element of it, but it had a lot of zombie action, you know?
Yeah.
And
So again, this is supposed to be a zombie movie, and to me, it wasn't so much a zombie movie as it was a journey adventure type of movie.
yeah,
So
I
maybe
I
that's the
I, I
problem.
guess I I just felt like it was very anticlimactic. Like
So,
everybody was dead.
mhm,
She went and found her husband, and he was dead.
mhm. Now
The end.
I like that he didn't come alive because that was so expected. I was expecting
Oh
him.
no, I didn't.
I was expecting him to come back, and I was like, nope. I hope they don't do it because
And then
that's
she
what
got
everybody
mad
else.
at him for not reanimating,
Yeah.
so that she
So
could yell at him some more.
let's talk about our rating. And we have three categories that we rate all of our movies on. The first category is the plot. So, what do you give?
Been there, done that with the
Okay.
plot. And again, in all fairness, there's only so much you can do with the zombie genre.
Mhm.
It's a tongue twister. It was predictable. Like I kind of knew everything that was going to go on. Uh, it didn't do anything different for me. Um, the only thing different was the way the people became the zombies.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm going to be generous, and I'm giving it a 2 for the plot.
All right. To what?
Let's see. 2 cheating spouses.
Wow. Okay. So, I do think the movie was. I mean, the plot. It's been done. I don't think it was redundant. I don't think it was. But I also don't think it was a brand new concept. So, I mean, zombie movies can only do so much before they become the same and the same. I do think the story was a little different than your typical zombie movie, and for that reason, I will give it 3 out of 5 grinding teeth.
Oh, there you go. Okay, the next one is acting slash directing.
Yep.
And I thought Daisy Ridley, I like, well, she was okay in the Star Wars movies. I didn't watch the Star Wars movies for the acting. I watched it for the Star Warsing. I thought she was kind of really wooden and unsympathetic in this.
Hmm.
I really wasn't like rooting for her. Like I didn't care for her. Now that could have been more of the writing. It could have been more of the directing. But
Mhm.
at one point, I'm like, I'm not that invested in her. Like I don't care if she dies. Um, some of the other performances were pretty good, but again, it wasn't good enough for me to overlook what I feel are the major flaws in this movie. So I'm giving it a 2 as well.
Um,
2 cheating spouses.
I thought the acting was very well done, very professional. The characters were believable in my view, in my opinion. I felt her grief. I felt her emotions, and because this is also about the directing, and the directing was really well done. I loved um, the details that they put into this. I thought it wasn't as bad as he's saying, but it wasn't like this blew me away. This is a brand new type of um, thing that they did. Um, for that reason, I'm still trying to convince myself. Uh, I think
You give it the score you want. Don't
yeah,
take into
yeah.
consideration that I didn't like it.
I think 4 grinding teeth out of 5. I think it was
Wow.
it's well worth it with their acting.
Hey, it's okay. Anybody can be wrong. So we go to
The
rewatchability
last
now.
category, yeah.
Now, rewatchability to me isn't an indictment on the quality of the movie. Like the Blair Witch Project, to me, doesn't have that high of a rewatchability, because for most of the movie nothing really happens. So once you rewatch it, you could probably just rewatch the last 10 minutes of it, but it's still a great movie. It's not.
No.
So nothing really happens in this movie.
Okay, so what do you give?
Like, I don't want to rewatch it. Like, once this movie comes out, I'm not going to rewatch. You're not going to pick up on anything that you didn't see in the first watch because it holds your hand all the way through, explains everything. I'm giving this a 1 for rewatchability. One cheating spouse this time, and it's her because she cheated first.
She cheated first. I do agree. There is not a whole lot of things that we could have missed the first time around. There was nothing. I don't think there's anything that is gonna jump out of the screen at us, and I'm gonna be like, oh, you know. Doesn't take. It's not a thinking type of movie. It's an enjoy.
It's a boring type of movie.
I would probably watch it again just once to see.
Well, good. You
just
can
to
watch it by yourself. Yeah, wait till after I go to bed.
I do watch a lot of movies without you, so.
Yeah.
And you do too.
This could be one of them.
Yeah. So for that reason, I will give it a very low score because I don't think that I do want to watch it that many times. I don't think there is any need
because nothing
to watch
happens,
it again.
ever.
But a 1 is too low. I will give it a 2 out of 5 grinding teeth.
Okay, so you're, wow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yep.
A 9.
My final score, it's 9 grinding teeth out of 15, and that's kind of low for a movie.
Well, it's
For us.
by doing maths, it's above average for you.
Yeah.
I gave it a significantly less 5 out of 15, and I think I'm not going to compare this to All the Creatures Were Stirring, but it wasn't a bad movie. It was just boring to me. I was bored.
I liked it.
I was looking at my watch and going, "Oh my God, is this almost over?"
Oh.
You know, like I knew nothing was going to happen. Everything that started to happen, I predicted what was going to happen. I did.
Okay.
So I would say if you want to see it out of curiosity, don't spend your money at the theater. wait till it comes out on streaming and go watch
at least
it.
we got movie popcorn.
But if you're like a hardcore zombie movie fan, you're not gonna like this because there's just not enough zombies in it. They're not a big enough role. It was almost like they threw it in there so it could be classified as a horror movie and not a drama. So
I think without the zombies, I wouldn't have watched it.
So that's my
Okay.
that's my opinion of it. And
we obviously don't fully agree. I don't completely disagree, but I wasn't bored. I was entertained. I wanted to know where the journey was taking her and how it was going to end. And I did not predict.
It was her dead husband.
I did not predict that she would end up with a baby. I kind of predicted that she would end up with Clay in my head, but
yeah, but you don't know if they did. You assume they did, but
why not? Okay, so
either she was gonna get to her husband and he was gonna be dead, or she was going to get to her husband and he was going to reanimate or be alive, and she was gonna have to kill him and cry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay. So with that,
let's. What time is it?
What time is it? Game time.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
So we are going to play zombie trivia? Zombie movie trivia?
Zombie trivia. And in this trivia zombie game, I'm going to ask you some questions, not for you to tell me what kind of movie, what movie it is.
Okay.
I was able to find some. Oh my goodness, Bear. Whew. So
the dog knocked over something and now he's scared.
And now he's by our feet and he
because he's dumb. But the
looking at yourself over there.
But the dog knocking over that and running under here was more entertaining than that movie that I just saw. Anyway, go ahead.
So, did you ever watch Zombieland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Zombieland from 2009, what rule number is cardio?
1.
Very good. Okay. Um, 28 days later.
Okay.
What is the name of the virus that causes the outbreak in 28 days later?
Rage virus.
In Shaun of the Dead,
Ooh, love that one.
what item?
Shaun of the Dead actually had more of a human element to it than this movie did.
What item does Shaun throw at a zombie before choosing a better weapon?
Oh.
He threw a few of these
I know. Records.
vinyl records.
Yep.
In World War Z,
Okay. I saw that
2013.
once and I don't remember a lot about it. Okay.
what physical condition helps protect people from being
Cancer.
attacked by
Cancer.
zombies? It doesn't. But it doesn't necessarily say cancer. It says having a serious illness or being terminally sick.
Okay.
What 1932 film is considered the first feature-length zombie movie?
White Zombie.
What experimental drug causes the outbreak in Resident Evil 2002?
The T virus.
He knows his movies. Okay, last one. I didn't watch this. In Warm Bodies,
I don't-
2013.
Okay, I know the movie. I don't think I watched the whole thing.
What is the name of the main zombie protagonist?
I know the actress. The actor that
Yeah.
plays him. Zach.
R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, every one of those movies that you mentioned does the human element better than this movie. Makes you feel for the characters more than this movie, and has more zombies in them.
Okay.
So anyway, so this was the first one that we disagreed on, and so look for this video to be dropping soon because new releases take priority, and this is a new theatrical release. We do have one in the queue for one of our subscribers, and it's The Empty Man. So keep your ears and your eyes open for that one. That one's going to come out soon, and we're hoping that this isn't a harbinger for the rest of 2026. You know, because right now for me, couldn't have set the bar any lower than this one.
We did see some good trailers for upcoming movies.
Yes.
So that'll be good. Please visit our socials, and if you like our content, please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, please.
We need a couple more to be able to make it to.
We only need about
500.
8,000 more subscribers to,
Make it somewhere.
Yeah. No, we're good. We enjoy. I don't care
We
if we
do.
have 2 subscribers or 2 million. We
It's
enjoy
fun.
doing this,
It's
and we're
fun.
doing it for you guys. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, hopefully you didn't already go out and see this movie. If you did, tell us what you thought of it. But if you didn't, I'm hoping that I can at least save you $1. So, okay, I guess with that, I am going to say thank you, and we are.